Hey everybody, thank you for joining my channel. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe, like this video, leave a comment if you will. I wasn't going to post a video today because the back of my head has been aching. My neck has been really stiff, like I have a crook in my neck or something. It's feeling a little better now. I got my knee braces on. My knees are actually feeling better. And I just been having a lot of body aches and pains. And I'm like, I took a COVID test. I'm like, is this COVID? Like, what is this? But I know that the spiritual warfare has intensified. So I just watched Jordan the Chosen One video, and he suggested that we take baths in 2025. And I just was instructed, and my intuition told me to take a bath today. And I took a bath yesterday, and I also prayed yesterday, did my 2 daily prayers. And so, yes, the spiritual warfare is definitely intensifying, especially for content creators or people that are in the public eye who are actually promoting truth and spreading love and light online, or in real life. Because people have to understand that it's not easy being chosen. And chosen is simply choosing to live your life right. I mean, God calls many people, but not everybody's chosen, because everybody does not answer the call. Everybody does not, respond. Everybody does not believe in God. Let's just say that. So if they don't believe in God, then they still are more than likely to do what they want to do. They might live out of the will of God. They're still, susceptible to doing whatever they think is right in their own mind, in their own strength, and that's not always in everybody's best interest, because, you have to do what God says if, live your life right. So, yeah, you can't just call yourself chosen and you're not living your life right. So, yes, I was watching a lady last night on YouTube, and I enjoyed her content because she was speaking a lot of stuff that a lot of YouTubers do not talk about. And I feel like we overlook the important stuff when there is so much more important things to focus our attention on. Everybody's not aware of the tricks of the enemy. Not everybody is aware of this spiritual, how the world is made up. Not everybody doesn't know the components and how everything is connected, and how, how to make sense of things and how to decipher things. So, yes, but yeah, it's good to have all the information that you need to make your own sound judgment, to make accurate, an accurate conclusion, to draw your accurate answer. You need to have all the information so you can draw your own conclusion. You can't believe everything you see on TV. You can't believe everything you hear from anybody. So that has to be understood. But we do know that the devil is busy, and we could say the devil, the powers that be, the powers that were, whoever is in control, and we think that we everybody has been compromised on some shape, form, or fashion. Like, I feel like the music industry owes me money because let's talk about it. They did programming, mind programming and stuff like that. But think about, everything is connected, and the music industry played a big role in my life and a lot of Black people's lives. Music and television took the place of our parents while our parents was at work. And the music had a hidden agenda and a hidden frequency in it to make us susceptible to promiscuity, drugs and alcohol, and all of that. And so and our minds were still forming, we were in our formative years. So and that's why a lot of Christians and religious people don't listen to music or watch certain things. And Islam is haram. It means is not permitted to listen to music because of that very reason, because it is demonic and it is satanic. And the reason why it's satanic and bad is not good for your overall mental health and your spiritual health, because it takes the place of your consciousness. If you're listening to low vibrational frequencies and negativity and all of this low vibrational stuff, and your mind is still growing, it's impressionable. That's like the kids these days, they could know a Sexy Red song, but they don't even know their ABCs or something like that. Or like my granddaughter, she could dance and know every song that come on the radio, but she had a hard time, you know, focusing and sitting down and writing her name and stuff like that, and then want to get an attitude, and then they get frustrated because it's not fun to them. It's not a game to them. But so that's how they program us. And I feel like they succeeded in doing that and distracting us at an early age with this entertainment, which didn't have our best interests at heart from the start. And the people that participated in it were basically sold out. So they compromised their integrity. They did stuff for the money to promote this image and this negativity onto us, and we not knowing that their hidden meaning and hidden agenda behind it. And subconsciously, it was programming us to be promiscuous and to be over sexualized and to be gangsters and thugs and drug dealers and all of this and that. And yes, it's still perpetuated to this day, but that has to be understood. But yeah, so I acknowledge that I acknowledge the impact that it had on me, the influence that it did to me. And that's what has to be understood, that some things have been ingrained in our subconscious at such an early age that's why when we hear the truth, or we hear stuff about these people being exposed and all of this, it just does something to our mind. It's like all of this truth is being revealed, and it's like a shock to people because it like shatters your, the paradigm that you created in your mind. I don't know if that's the word to use right there, but you know what I'm saying? It shatters like your childhood. It's like growing up and you've been raised by somebody, and you find out this is not your real father the whole time, and you questioning everything. You like, well, what about this and what about that? And you mean to tell me that this man raised me the whole time and this not even my real father? Like, what was the point of you keeping that a secret from me? You thought that it was more important for you to save your reputation, to make it appear as if you wasn't promiscuous, or you wasn't sleeping around or sleeping with two different people at the same time. You rather keep your reputation, protect your reputation over telling your child the truth that this is not your father, that is your father. But so that's what people do. And it's the same thing in the music industry. Like, people, they deceive us and they misled us and they don't tell us the truth. It's unfortunate that you could grow up and not know who your real father is and been lied to your whole life. And at this point, I really don't care. You know what I'm saying? It would be nice to know the truth, but it doesn't matter to me. I'm using that for an example. It doesn't matter to me. Just like I don't care about Diddy or Jay-Z or Beyonce or any of these people. It doesn't matter to me. I would just assume that they all fucked up. Honestly, I would just assume that everybody that we see on TV that we grew up watching pulled the wool over everybody's eyes, and that Hollywood did that intentionally, and they are very corrupt, and that we've been lied to on such a grand, large, mass scale that we can't believe shit that we ever seen on TV. Can't believe nothing or nobody. So everybody was in the music industry was compromised on some level, and everybody in the Hollywood, the movie industry, has been compromised on some level. So it's unfortunate that they influenced the culture and they played a role in our upbringing, and they had an effect subconsciously on us, and to make us think that that's what we should aspire to be, is rich and famous and have nice things. And at what cost? At what cost do I really need this? Or, or what? Like, is this really that important to me? If I have to sell my soul and do stuff that I don't think is right, or that's not of God, and it's not for the overall good of humanity, like selling drugs, like a drug dealer, he's selling drugs to his community only for his own personal gain, and he's destroying people's lives. He's destroying parents' lives, and he's destroying a child's life only for him to look good and have a nice car and have nice things. But you're selling drugs to somebody's mother, you're selling drugs to somebody's son, you're selling drugs to somebody's father, you're selling drugs to somebody's sister, brother, cousin, uncle, and all to profit off just so you can look good and be fly. And then ultimately, at the end of the day, eventually it's going to catch up with you and land you right behind bars. Or you start doing the drugs yourself and get addicted to it, and then unalive yourself or overdose, or end up in jail, end up in prison. It's just, and it's all systematically designed for you to self-sabotage yourself. So with that being said, it's unfortunate that I could have all this information and this knowledge and this wisdom inside of me, and I know the truth. I'm aware and I'm awakened to know that how I have been subliminally programmed in my own way with things that I have experienced. And I acknowledge that, and I have to work through that mentally and spiritually and emotionally. I have to acknowledge it, and the more I'm aware of it, then I have to, do what I have to do to transmute that energy and reprogram my thought process. Because if nobody's telling you what you need to know, and nobody's telling you truth, then what do? This lady told me you have to seek the truth out for yourself. You have to seek out information for yourself, because you cannot believe everything that your mother told you. You can't believe everything that your father told you. You can't believe everything you see on TV. You can't believe everything you see on the news. You have to have a personal relationship with the Most High so you can get those downloads instinctively, intuitively, so you can know what you need to do. Because can't nobody tell you the truth better than yourself. You got to speak your own truth, because people will lie to you and confuse you and trick you and manipulate you and try to tell you something to take advantage of you. And at the end of the day, it's hard to be aware and alert, because my spirit is sensitive to nonsense, foolishness, and BS. So when I get around a person and we could be cool, start acting glitchy, and they spirit has been hijacked by the enemy, or they haven't done their inner work, which most people have not done their inner work and have not healed and have not addressed that they have been subliminally programmed, and they don't 100% acknowledge, everything that's going on in the world today, and understand their part and their role that they're playing. And because they're carrying out the mission of Satan or the powers that be. Just like your family members could be they're carrying out this generational curse. They're doing exactly what their mother did. They're doing exactly what their father did. And they're doing it unknowingly or knowingly, and they're part of the problem. So people have to acknowledge that. I'm not trying to be part of the problem. I'm not part of the problem. I'm part of the solution. I'm part of the answer, because I actually live my life right, and I'm getting closer to the Most High every day. And I'm just getting more certain that people have been compromised mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and physically on so many levels that I have discredited myself, and I didn't give myself the credit that I deserve, because I am spiritually up here. My consciousness and my awareness and what I've been through and overcome is elevated, on a high level that a lot of people didn't take the road that I took or have taken. So a lot of people take that for granted, and then they, that's annoying to me. You know what I'm saying? It's not that I'm holier than thou or anything like that, but it's like if you've been through abuse and trials and tribulations and all of this systemic racism and, targeted and all of this kind of stuff, and then you still want to interact with people. I never wanted to be in solitude or isolated. I never, but this is the path, the road that the Most High has put me in. I really don't have no choice. I have been set apart for a reason, and it's in the Bible. Many 10,000 will fall at your left, 1,000 will fall at your right, but none of it will come near you. The Bible verse. But yes, so everybody can't go, and everybody's not conscious and aware and willing to wake up to the truth of the whole systematically in place agenda that was set up to destroy Black people or melanated people of color, and how we've been miseducated and turned against each other intentionally to destroy each other. And that's why a Black man can't get along with a Black woman, and we can't, and then this homosexuality is being pushed and on the rise, and STDs and violence, and people just spazzing out, losing their mind and all this stuff. That's what the devil wants. That's what the tricks of the enemy wants. And that's what the little plan works slowly but surely over time. So everybody's not going to make it out of that matrix. Not everybody's going to be able to come out of that darkness. And that's why it's, because you could be innocent. You could be an innocent person. You could be a good person. But you have to be aware, alert, and stay protected at all times, because people are just not who you think they are. They have been hijacked, possessed, demon possessed, infiltrated, and compromised, and it's something wrong with them, sometimes chemically wrong with them, to where there's no talking to them. And that's why you have psychopaths and sociopaths and things like of that nature. And there is different levels to this, to people's consciousness and awareness, and because people can't differentiate right from wrong, and people lack empathy, and there's a lot of people who are cold and heartless and soulless out here. And that's what the lady was talking about. Her channel is Wayward Revenge Witch blog, I believe. Yes. And everything she was saying on her channel is the thoughts. A lot of that stuff she was saying is some thoughts that I have running through my mind at times. And yeah, everything she was saying, I believe everything she was saying was true, but everybody has their own personal opinion on stuff, certain things, but you can't argue or debate truth and facts. You know what I'm saying? So yes, so truth sounds like fiction to people who are not spiritually inclined or spiritually aware, and they don't even know how this, when you tell people truth to dispel the fiction, that should, break some chains in your brain. That should break some bondage, some strongholds, because the more you know, the more you're supposed to, when you know better, you're supposed to do better. So you can't say that you don't know better when information is out here, and there are people actually out here spreading truth and giving information. People just don't care to know, or don't even desire to be aware and awakened for the information to actually do better in their life. And I cannot and will not be associated with people that do not want to help themselves to be a better version of themselves. If you're attacking me subliminally, or being low vibrational or negative and all of that, you cannot exist in my life, point blank period, because that is demonic and it's low vibrational and it's not healthy. It reminds me of a sociopath or a psychopath. Are you just as bad or guilty as the rest of the world who are going to hell in a handbasket, that don't know no better. I know better. I know that what I do, what I put out makes a difference. Wayward Revenge, which blog, she said that food is spell work. And that's another thing. Like, I've been ordering Uber Eats, and my spirit told me that I'm just getting too comfortable with ordering food on Uber Eats. Like, probably because I cook at work. So I really get a little lazy, I guess. I get a little tired from work, cooking at work, that I really don't cook at home. But I can't do that though, because Uber Eats is way too expensive. I spend like $30 every time I order Uber Eats. And then I think that's probably why my body is aching, because you can't trust everybody's food. You can't trust everybody's energy. And I just have to be mindful, very mindful of whose food I'm eating, what restaurant food I'm eating, and what I'm watching, and what I'm listening to, what I'm, indulging in, because yeah, all of it plays a part. All of it is a factor, because the devil was busy the other day. But I got a blessing there. I find that when obstacles arise, something good happens. It may look like a setback, but the Most High always spins the block and give me some good news. Yes, like, thank you to all my new subscribers. I'm at 1,800 subscribers. So yay, it's a milestone. Hey, turn up. I'm at a new milestone. So 2K is on the way. I'm almost at 2K, baby. Don't play with her. She is not one of them. So yes, I'm just on here being the best version of myself, leveling up quietly, and minding the business that pays me, and much love and light, peace and abundance and blessings to everyone. And that's why my channel is just me reflecting and venting and, bringing my truth to the table, and being the change I want to see in the world, because I know that there's so much going on in the world today, and the devil is busy, and that everybody's been compromised in some shape, form, or fashion. And some people don't even know it and don't even acknowledge that. And that's why we see so much weird and crazy stuff on the news and on TV and on YouTube and all of that. Because people have been compromised and easily to persuaded to do certain things. That's why if you don't have the spiritual knowledge of God, or you're not spiritually inclined, and you're not praying, haven't been through anything, and you haven't changed your life over for the better, and you doing drugs, or you've been abused, and you got mental health issues, and you took a shot or whatever, influence your energy or change your DNA up, and you smoking weed and smoking, you don't know what they put in the weed, and you have unhealed trauma and all this and that, and then stuff happens to you outside of you, external factors and all of that, it will be overwhelming. And especially if you don't have no God in your life, and you're not able to navigate through situations by praying and fasting and staying positive and looking at on the bright side, because yeah, that's how people crash out and spaz out, because it's a whole combination of a lot of things. It's a lot of things that are up against us in the spiritual realm and in the physical realm. There is so much up against people of color on so many levels. There is so many things that is placed against us. Melanated people at a young age, teenager, adulthood, throughout our life, is so much against us, from the information that we receive, to the environment that we are placed in, to the socio-economic situation, through the family disposition, and fathers being not knowing, they not stable, mentally stable, woman not mentally stable, whatever. People think that they just got to get money, money is everything. Money is the root to, love of money is root to all evil, and people lack spirituality and spiritual discernment, and they don't have no love in their heart, and they cold-hearted, and they part of the matrix. They part of the problem. A lot of people are part of the problem, and they think that just because they successful and they have nice things, that they're not part of the problem, and because they don't care about other people. But you can have nice things and care about people as long as you do it the right way, as long as you obtaining your wealth in a healthy manner, the right way, and you're not stepping on people's neck, and you're not lying and cheating and stealing and selling your soul, and you have integrity. That's a thing that people lack: integrity, and people lack morals, and people lack values, and people lack empathy, and people are selfish. They could be selfish and boastful and arrogant and egotistical, and it's all about them. And yeah, they will never be satisfied. They will never be happy. And yeah, but on the flip side of that, when you are compassionate and loving and caring and all of that, you can be misused and mistreated and everything. So it's like, what side do you choose? I choose to live my life right, and I choose to acknowledge that everybody doesn't choose to live their life right and doesn't acknowledge the Most High. So they cannot live their life right because they're not choosing God. So if you don't choose God and you don't choose to live your life right, then you are susceptible to hurt, harm, danger, all of that, corruption, and all of that. I mean, because you're in the dark, you're in the darkness. I mean, bad things can happen to good people. We all know that. But you do have a choice to make in your life to choose right, to be conscious and aware of your life and your intuition and your intentions. Your intentions. What are your intentions? People they have ill intentions against other people. A lot of people have bad intentions towards people, and they mask themselves as one way, but they really have a hidden motive, hidden agenda, and that's 99.9% of the people on, on this earth. They have been compromised, and they're not who they portray themselves to be in their everyday life. See, that's why they do a background check when you apply for jobs and when you apply for apartments and all of that, because you can appear to be anything. And that's why people do background checks or when they're dating somebody and all of that, because you can appear to be the best thing since sliced bread, but we all know how that goes. So yes, people lie, and people trick people, and people scam people, and people bamboozle people, and they really, really clever. And he's not going to show you that he's the devil. He's going to come disguised, and he's going to be really slick and sneaky. A sneaky little devil is what he's going to do, but you will know him by how he treats you. Because my spirit is sensitive to those deceitful tricks of Satan. My spirit is very sensitive to that low vibrational stuff, when people start acting shifty and shady. But I noticed that it's 99.9% of the people that I have encountered in my life that are like that. And when you're like that, I understand that may just be human nature to be faulty in our nature, but that's why you have to acknowledge that, and you have to pray about that, and you have to be conscious and intentional about changing your life for the better. You can't just be ignorant. See, the thing about me, I'm not ignorant. Like, I know that I have to work on myself. I know that I have to do my part. I know that God is not going, I know that God is saving me and blessing me and keeping me, but I do have to do my part. I do have to get up and go to work and pay my bills. If I want to be healthy, I do have to eat healthy. I just can't snap my fingers and it's done. So yes, that's why I really don't see the point of dwelling on negativity or talking about certain things that's going on in the world. It is good to bring awareness to that, and I bring awareness to certain topics and stuff like that, but it is kind of low vibrational and toxic and negative and all of that. I don't really want to entertain myself with too much negative news and stuff like that, because we already know what's going on out here. That's why we have to do our part. We have to do our due diligence, and we have to know that most people have been compromised. And the thing about it, or everybody's been compromised mentally, spiritually, emotionally. The thing is, what are you going to do about that? What are you going to do to counteract all the subliminally programming that you have endured since a child, and as a with your family and with school and with the environment and with entertainment? What are you going to do? What are you going to do to be the best version of yourself? There is something you can do. Even if you were born in the hood, you don't have to grow up and be a thug. Even if you were in a single family home and you was raised by your single mother, does not mean you have to grow up and be a homosexual male. People just always stigmatize everything. Well, oh, the father wasn't there. Oh, this is why you was promiscuous. This is why this, and this is why that. And people that go through this do that, and this is why it's a generational curse, or this is because it's in your DNA, or this hereditary, or this is what's been handed down to you. Everything that's handed down to you, you do not have to accept that. And that's really lazy on people's part. And that's why the problem is people, the world society and all of that just lowers your willpower. It lowers your will to be able to combat all of that programming that you have, that's been placed upon you. But you cannot just think that you haven't been affected by your past or your history or anything, all of that. You have been affected. Everybody has. But what are you going to do with that information? So quick, we can't act like you better than the next person because, oh, well, I had both of my parents in my life. Oh, well, you still been compromised because you live in the United States of America. Go to a third world country. They got their own problems down there. But I'm sure that their mental health and probably certain other things are better in rural areas where they didn't have access to television and the programming that we have been exposed to. And that's why I feel like everybody's owed. I'm owed a check. I think I need at least 50, no, not 50. I need $500,000. I need $500,000 at least. I want to say 2 million, but I need at least $500,000 for my pain and suffering I need $500,000 from being subliminally programmed, subconsciously programmed as a child growing up by music and television, and that played a part on my upbringing and all the systemic racism and all of the placements of this. A real thing, because in black neighborhoods they don't have access to healthy foods, and they place all of these fast food restaurants in black areas to lower your vibrational frequency down. This drugs are running rampant in poor neighborhoods. So you have drugs, you have liquor stores on every other corner. You have drugs on every other corner. You have liquor, you have bad, unhealthy food. It's just a recipe for disaster. So, duh. But we all know that this is done intentionally, and people still fall for it. People still fall victim to we already know the playbook. We already know that 1 + 1 = 2. But you want to tell me that 1 + 1 = 3. No. See, the thing about it is people are so far gone, and some people are never going to see the light of day, and people are lost in the sauce, and you cannot educate everybody because it's so many things that have been placed in this person's mind, body, soul, and DNA that it's no coming back. And that's why they're going to eventually eliminate themselves off the map in due season. So I can't cry over spilled milk. We can't cry over spilled milk. All we can do is stay out the way and stay protected, because people they just choose not to do better for themselves, spiritually, mentally, emotionally. The information is out here. The Bible has truth in it. The Quran has truth in it. You can learn anything from anybody. You have to be intentional. You cannot just be a NPC or an AI character with no mind, body, soul, and be a soulless, heartless human being. But we have to know that these people are out here, and it's a lot, and it's growing more and more and more intensified every day. So we have to know that most people you come in contact with have been compromised, and they're not to be trusted. They're untrustworthy. Point blank period. So this video was about just me becoming more consciously aware of myself and where I'm at on my spiritual journey, and how I have to do my part, and to stay sane and keep my eyes on the prize, because I cannot let my external circumstances rattle me, because the devil is trying to be a problem for me, or I can't let what somebody says about me bother me, or what somebody's trying to do to try to sabotage me, because I live my life right, and the Most High is going to always spin the block for me. That's what I know, and that's how I roll, and that's how I move, and I have faith that surpasses all understanding. And yeah, just know that we have to know when to speak and when not to speak, because you cannot cast your pearls before swine. Do not cast your pearls before swine. You could be a good person and all of that, but people will never acknowledge that, because they don't want to acknowledge it in themselves. They want to just continue to do the same thing that they've been doing, and they're going to learn the hard way. And you just have to stay out the way and remove yourself. So that has to be understood. Don't go back and forth with these people, because it's a waste of your time and energy, and it has to be understood. But yes, I am owed a check. I need at least $500,000 for all the trials and tribulations that I've been through up until this day. I think we all are owed money from all of the miseducation that has been placed upon us, and the situations that we've been placed upon us. Most of it was out of our control. That's why they say life is 10% of what happens to you and 90% about what you do with it. So we have to change our mindset. We have to change our outlook and our perception on things if you want to grow and be successful in life. And the more you know, the more you grow. And you have to be aware and alert and stay protected at all times, because at the end of the day, remember to always keep the Most High first. Don't do nothing I wouldn't do. Stay blessed. Much love and light. Peace, love, light, and success. See you next time. Bye.